Whoa, what's going on?
I think there's something interesting going on. I don't think it's dangerous.
Get out of here, Kraloth. You're standing on my stomach.
No!
Zolkin, go help them.
I don't love you anymore.
I said a badass line, and I'm ready to fuck shit up.
I got no magic and I'm stuck in a bubble. What do you want from me?
Doran, is Red still down there?
I don't know where he is.
God, why am I colorblind?
Come on, buddy, come on.
I don't think we're going to make it up there.
I always wanted to die surrounded by my friends.
Unfortunately, that won't be today.
Welcome back to Dice Shame, episode 89, Blood Runs Cold.
This week's MVP is Scott Grigsby, who joined us on Facebook. Nice to see you, Scott.
Looking for something spooky and awesome and amazing? By now you must know our friends at Dimension Door. Liz and James are like family. But did you know they have a second show called Dimension Door Severed Fate? If you think that title sounds awesome, you have good taste. Check them out at DimensionDoorPodcast.com, and if you haven't already, make sure you're listening to the OG Dimension Door. You know, to be cool.
Love those guys.
All right, shall we do this?
Let's play some D&D. I want to know this week, to start out Dice Shame, what is everyone's very favorite kind of food?
Candy.
Oh, wow.
Candy.
Sorry.
We can't talk about candy again, Justin.
I mean, pizza.
Homemade
Pizza,
pierogies.
pizza, snake meat, snake
Oh.
meat, snake meat.
Did you even hear Rob's
No.
suggestion?
A galette?
Pierogies.
I said homemade pierogies.
Pierogies.
Really? That's your fave?
Oh my god, they're the yeah, but they're also like traditional. They're nostalgic. They're this like the Christmas Easter like food where it's the production of everybody pinching pierogies all day, drinking gin and tonic and hanging out. And so, but
Oh, yeah, it's like a family.
but also they're
How old were you when you were drinking gin and tonic?
14.
way too young.
When I was 3.
But you had to learn to mix gin and tonics properly before you got to drink one. But you had to keep the pierogi pinchers fueled. Don't worry.
That's what our family was. You need to, in our family, you needed to know how to make a martini at like 10.
I see.
You know, like you need, because everybody
gin and
needed
tonic was the
martinis.
pierogi pinching drink. That's for sure.
I like
Pierogies,
that.
interesting. I mean, I love pierogies. I think obviously I don't have a familial connection with them, so obviously that boosts it. But I mean, pizza for me is like a super anytime. I love it, and every time I'm like, pizza's so, and then I have it, I'm like, oh no, pizza's everything. It's so good.
Well, funny, because last night I was eating a taco, and I was like, wow, it's really up there between tacos and pizza. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
Hard shell taco or soft shell taco?
Actually, it was a hard shell wrapped with a soft shell.
Oh,
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah,
Hard
yeah.
shell with the soft on the outside.
Yeah.
Late Cinco de Mayo.
Actually, well, we had it the day before, the day after Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, you did a Cinco de Mayo sandwich.
You know, the thing is, though, like I've had tacos here and I've had tacos in Mexico, and they're brilliant both ways. Like different, but I have to say I've had pizza in Italy, and it's like pizza here.
but pizza was invented in New York.
What do you mean?
Okay, fine. Well, I've had pizza in New York too.
I don't know.
Pizza's
in
the
Italy
same
and pizza
everywhere.
in Cuba. I just find pizzas like you can have good pizza and bad pizza in all those places, but tacos are very different here in Canada than they are in even in.
Well, pizza in Italy and
very
pizza is just
same.
very different.
I didn't think so.
It's not. If you try to find like a slice of New York pizza in like Italy,
Right.
you're not really going to have the
Right.
same thing. It's like
Or
fresh
actual-
tomato and real mozzarella.
Pizza fact. When do you think the first pizzeria in Canada opened?
Pizza fact.
Is this a pizza fact or a pizza quiz?
It's a question. I've got the answer.
It's a pizza quiz.
1951.
1800.
7.
1967.
1964.
1948 was the first
I was 2 years off. I win.
Pizzeria Napolitana in Montreal was the first pizzeria in Canada.
Justin, what's your favorite food?
Lobster, hands down. Next question.
You do love lobster. You're
shit,
so
yeah.
funny.
I love lobster. It's simple. It hasn't changed my entire life.
Simple.
It doesn't need to change.
Simple man with simple tastes.
I like a food that I can destroy an entire creature during. I want it, all of it.
I love seafood. I'm all with you.
No, I do too.
Rather than just a little piece of an entire
I'm not saying that that's like a bad thing. I like the feeling of like ripping this lobster's head off.
It's efficient.
You came over for a lobster dinner on your birthday. We bought 2 lobsters.
You
and we
taught
cooked
me.
them. I
You
love
taught me how
lobster.
to make lobster.
You
Yes,
know I
I've
love
completely
lobster.
forgotten.
Oh shit.
I was just remembering that little fucking crawfish boil we did for Chris's birthday.
That was so
was
good.
too. Yeah,
Never
crawfish.
enough, though.
Crawfish is
Yeah.
up there too. Except you don't get the same
But they're
amount
so
of meat.
tiny.
They're tiny. Yeah,
How do you guys feel about oysters?
Love
Oh,
'em.
love them.
Love them.
I like them.
Rob?
I love them. I'm all for it. Like seafood and every kind. I just
5 for 5.
I thought it might be divisive, but never mind. We all love
Nope.
it. Fuck yeah.
Nothing beats fresh caught or picked or plucked oysters off of the west.
Harvested.
Chipped, chiseled oysters.
Chisel.
Shovel?
Fresh-
Kind of are. I
Just
mean, they're
shoveled?
like taking off rocks.
Yeah, walking along the intertidal zone in BC, just like picking them up and putting them over fire.
Shucked. How about shucked?
Well, shucked is Oh yeah. What we need to do is once all this COVID's over, we do a cottage weekend where we all
fuck
pitch in
yeah.
and do a big
Yeah.
Oh, my
seafood feast.
Steaming pot
Yes.
Right?
mussels.
Please.
And we do like a lobster. We do like oyster appetizer, and then we
Fresh
do a
horseradish.
dump out
Breakfast galettes. I
You.
don't think I won't.
with scallops in it
We're having seafood all weekend, all meals.
all
Yes,
weekend,
please.
all meals.
Oh.
Joe, what about your favorite food?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're all making very convincing arguments. I can't pick one.
I like
Yeah, but you
lobster.
will.
That's my.
What's
You
a
have
food
to.
you like?
I love pizza and lobster and tacos and
Oh my.
Steak
pierogies.
and steak.
I love steak a lot.
Steak is the thing that you come home being like, man, I want a steak tonight. I need a steak
I
tonight.
don't ever say I need a steak.
Here's a question, Joe. You used to be a vegetarian.
I
used to
did.
be
I
a
was
vegan.
a vegan.
You were a vegan. What was your favorite food
Yeah.
when you were a vegan?
Steak.
Still steak.
She just couldn't have it.
I was really honestly, I really love a lot of vegetables. I think my favorite vegetable is probably artichoke.
Oh.
So I really loved like steamed or roasted artichokes. So fucking good.
Interesting.
I'm a huge
only really had them
Olives are
pickled.
also really up there for me. Love an
Love olives.
olive.
But those are like
pickled anything is what I
Those are
understood
foods.
was a big
yeah.
real.
Well, I mean, we're not talking about like single
Anything-
elements. I thought we were talking about like a dish.
Well, what genre of food do I like the most? I'm probably going to go with Italian. I demolish a pasta. I really, really love a lasagna. We don't eat pasta a lot at home because Harlan's not crazy about it, but I think
Unfortunately.
it's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
and steak.
We're really lucky in Toronto. There's just a ton of really amazing things happening culinarily.
Our food culture is pretty cool.
Culinarily.
Man, I don't know how we can record this episode because my mouth is watering so much, but should we-
Let's just talk about food for another.
Shall we play some D&D?
Yeah.
Let's eat some monsters.
Kraloth, you are awakened by the insistent voice of Captain Trenieros calling to you from outside the hut. Sir Kraloth, we are not alone here in the spire. Another presence calls to us from somewhere. Follow me.
And Kraloth rubs his eyes, grabs his shield and mace, and follows his captain.
The semi-translucent form of your captain descends the spiral staircase through the darkness, through this tower, down.
Do we hear him? Like, I have a passive perception of 20. Do I hear him stir?
I don't think you automatically hear people as they wake up. Kraloth, did you want to wake any of your buddies?
So Kraloth, he gets up and he grabs his shield and his mace, and as he kind of stumbles out of the hut, he accidentally clangs his mace off of the side of Red's head.
Ow! What the hell, Krayla?
Oh, sorry, Red. Go back to sleep. I'm just going out for a minute.
What's going on? Why are you going out?
Captain Trenieros, he says there's a presence in the tower. I just wanted to go check it out, but I don't think it's worth waking everybody up.
Yeah, well, it'd be tough getting rid of me. And I stand up. Let's go.
And I proceed out of the tent.
And I follow. And just before I leave, I just kick Doran's foot a little bit, just so he's aware if something goes wrong.
Yeah. And Doran's,
Rolls over and goes back to sleep.
Farts.
oh no, very instinctively an eye opens.
You just see Red's eye, and Red sort of nods, and
Yeah, it's almost like instinct. Like if I'm woken at night, I don't suddenly jump. I'd like become aware of my surroundings because of my soldier training.
I love the idea that Doran he's mid snore and he wakes up and keeps snoring. Like he's opens his eyes but he fakes the sound. I really like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he doesn't miss a beat. You know what I mean? I think that'd be a really cool little.
And it's so true too. So he does. He keeps an eye on you leaving.
The semi-translucent form of your captain descends the spiral staircase through the darkness, leading you, Kraloth, and Red, you follow Kraloth, not seeing where he's heading, what he's following, but trusting your friend. And you head down 2 stories to the conservatory, bathed in moonlight coming out through the windows that point east. You see a ghostly figure that stands in this room at one of the windows, staring out at the darkness of the canyon. Its body is draped in flowing robes, ethereal and serene.
Are you seeing this, Red?
Yeah, I am. Did your captain lead us here?
Yeah, he did. I'm sure it's all right.
Red just leans back to the stairwell and just does a to let the others know. Like, I think this could be something they might want to experience too, right?
As soon as I hear that little bit of a whistle, I immediately turn over and grab Jack's leg and I shake him. Jack, wake up.
What the? Jack is not trained for combat and does not keep snoring when he wakes up. Mid-nightmare from all of the horrible things that have happened to him recently. Whoa, what's going on?
Red's down there with Kraloth. I think there's something interesting going on. I don't think it's dangerous, not by the sound of the whistle. Come with me.
But Doran, as you stand up from Liamon's tiny hut, you look out at the night spangled with pinpricks of bright stars, and you see that below you in the canyon, a crawling, grasping fog is rolling in.
Oh.
The mist billows and rolls like the sea, spreading out to every rocky crevasse and enveloping the base of the tower.
Oh. Hey, look at this. I give a whistle back down to Red, and I go, bit of a heads up.
It's a knowing whistle.
Red nods,
A knowing whistle.
sort of looks out the window and turns back towards Kraloth, who's approached this thing.
Zolkin, are you awake now?
Oh, is it morning?
It's not clear what's happening yet. Something. Doran, why don't you go scope it out? If I leave the safety of the camp, it goes away. But right now, we could all last here all night if we were under sieged by something. So
Okay.
until there's a real problem,
I'm gonna go run down now then. Keep an ear out for if there's anything crazy happening.
give us a signal. We'll be there.
All right.
You've got a safe place to retreat to.
Yeah. No, good thinking. And Doran kind of scrambles out in a hushed whisper down the stairs.
Doran, you find your companions standing in this moonlit conservatory.
And Kraloth steps forward and says, "Hello, miss. I see you."
And as you walk in, you hear this figure begin to speak. Our company came to the tower late in the summer, having plundered the river and gained the ire of the barge masters upstream. We fled up into the canyon, looking for a place to lay low and hide our spoils. Finding this ruin felt like destiny. And after sowing our loot and posting a guard, we crowed about our fortune and collapsed into revelry, our final night cloaked in the rapture of greed. The fog came in off the river then, curling around each bend, seeking us and finding our nest in the tower. Belril woke us and bade us arm ourselves, for the unnerving sound unmanned him as it surrounded us. We took up positions to defend our lives and our bounty, a fool's endeavor. We stood no chance against the horde. The swarm so vast it stripped the life from us in a mere instant. And she turns from the window where she looks out at the fog growing in the valley. The fog looms, mortal creature. I have watched it many times from my station in on death. Whenever this tower acts as shelter, it is always the same. You cannot fight, nor can you flee. Even the surest footed horses are run down and torn to pieces. Hide. And from that instant, the tower is mired in thick fog on all sides. From the fog, the distant sound of clicking echoes all around, getting closer, louder, and you start to be able to discern shapes below through the windows, something moving in the darkness, many somethings.
We have to hide.
Right.
Red, we have to hide now.
A chittering, clicking sound seeps out of the fog, and from your spot here in the conservatory, you begin to hear tapping on the walls of the tower on all sides, climbing faster than you could possibly ascend the stairs, like the probing of claws. Something dark moving outside the tower all around you.
I don't think we're going to make it up there.
Doran, come on! And he runs to the stairs and heads one floor up and quickly holds the door open for Kraloth and Doran to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, follow him in and close the door behind.
Maybe we should bar the door. And Red sort of like motions for Kraloth to pick up a desk and like we sort of move it in front of the door.
Mm-hmm.
And Kraloth does that, but then he also looks at the bottom of the door where there's a crack, and he grabs a sheet of burlap and puts it down underneath.
Cool.
To potentially stop it.
And Red runs to the windows and like closes the drapes as well.
Yeah, and Doran's pushing up the beds and pushing the dressers in front of the windows as well.
She said there was no chance. We need to do as much as we can. And he scurries under a bed and sort of leaves room for Doran. Because I think the two of them would fit under one bed. Kraloth would probably fit under the other.
Yeah.
Kraloth puts himself under a lampshade.
Yeah.
Kraloth is going to cower under a bed as well. And are you able to do that spell that makes us unheard and unseen, Red?
Yeah. And I'm going to cast Silence.
You lose all perception of whether or not it is safe for you inside this sphere as all of your senses are dampened. You can no longer hear these creatures crawling all over the tower. You have no idea whether they're still there or not. Jack, from your spot on the roof, you hear tapping on the walls of the tower, on the walls of the canyon all around you, like the probing of claws.
Yeah.
And you start to be able to discern these shapes around you moving on the walls in the darkness.
What are we seeing?
It's hard to tell. These are quick creatures that are moving spider-like, climbing, multi-legged creatures, hundreds of them.
For lack of a better thing to do, Jack goes to his safe place, which is studying something, and so creates an illusion, like a minor illusion of the thing. And as he sees another detail, just picks something out, he tries and like molds it onto the thing. So at the end of this, he'll have an idea of what he saw in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
You feel something on your leg.
Yeah.
As Jackson looks up at you nervously.
Oh, I'll scoop him into my arms, absolutely, and rub the back of his head as I keep peering out into the darkness.
You hear a terrible screeching racket as these creatures breach the tower and begin their climb upwards toward you. And as they crest the sides, you see them nimbly shuffle towards you in the darkness. Red, Kraloth, Doran, as you stand in utter stillness, not even hearing the sounds of your own hearts racing in your chests, you see the burlap sack that Kraloth had stuffed underneath the crevice at the bottom of the door get pulled backwards in the darkness as something snatches it away out into the hallway. And then from your vantage underneath the beds, you see the door begin to shudder as it is being broken down.
Oh, but we don't even hear it. That's the thing.
Red holds a finger up to his lips, just like shaking his head. And I think he slowly pulls his rapier.
The door shudders with increasing intensity, splinters, and as you watch, part of the door near the doorknob breaks open and you see this long spike push through, probing, and then the door comes off its hinges altogether. Something dark moves into the room, climbing up the wall, spider-like. It's followed in quick succession by 8 or 9 other creatures. Their spiked legs tapping the stone. You feel like you can almost feel the reverberations through the ground. 6 dark crab-like legs propelling a thick reptilian body. And Jack up on the roof, we see him sketching it onto this illusion fervently as he sees them climb all over the top of Liamon's tiny hut, entirely covering everything he can see now. Their necks curve long, hypermobile, and they snap and hiss at each other through jaws of sharp white teeth, rearing up, tall as a horse on 4 legs and probing the air with their snout, searching for the source of some trace. They skitter through the room now. You see their legs breaking the stone underfoot as they pace around the bed,
Jesus.
knocking at the remains of furniture aside and stabbing them with their foreclaws.
Doran just stares wide-eyed at the goings-on in this room.
Kraloth, you recognize the remains of the sheet that you used to cover the bodies earlier of the cadavers. It's being torn at by 2 or 3 of these creatures. They're fighting over the remain of something that once had blood on it. And then they start to leave.
And we breathe silently for the first time.
Seconds pass like minutes, and slowly, Jack, the tapping on the outside of the tower recedes. The creatures leave you alone from where you are sitting underneath Liamon's tiny hut.
Once they're gone, I'll start sending messages in the direction Doran went, trying to see if I can... Doran, are you okay?
After like a good minute, maybe Doran starts to move and Red like holds a hand up and he's like, no, another minute. And then eventually, I think Red slinks up to the door and just looks out. And I think he nods to the other 2. And I think we head back up.
As you begin to ascend the stairs, Red, you find yourself face to face with one of these 6-legged, chitin-covered reptiles.
Oh, fuck.
It hisses in delight and launches itself at you as 3 more creatures skitter out of the shadows and join it.
Fuck.
Everybody roll for initiative. It tricked you!
Bum, 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 bum. That would be a natural 1.
Oh, no.
Oh!
That's a 4.
Red was not ready.
All right. Doran?
Also a 4.
Who wants to go first, Red or Doran?
Red, please.
Kraloth, what'd you get?
I got 14.
Jack rolled a 19 for what that's worth. But
Now, is it safe to say that we healed up
No.
with short rests? No?
Nope. You guys did not roll hit dice. You did not have a short rest. You tried to take a long rest that was interrupted.
Oh, I see. Health potions, people.
This is going to be a short battle for Red.
all you need to do is get up to the top of the stairs.
It's not going to matter. I'm going to go down.
All right. Jack, it's your turn.
Doran, Red, Kraloth, are you right? Right at the edge of the stairs, but not daring to leave the spear.
Are we in silence still?
Oh, yeah.
Do we still have...
All of this is in silence.
Oh, yeah, we're...
Yeah.
So they don't hear you.
It's like this. It sounds like this.
Stupid. Great. So it's the creatures' turns. They swarm you, Red. All 4 of them.
Yep.
They come running towards you. So 2 of them are on either side of you as you look out from the doorway, and then 2 of them come down from the ceiling and drop onto the floor. They all stab out at you with these long, pointed foreclaws that look very much like crab's legs, but thicker and more deadly pointed.
Delicious.
Not as good as lobster, but too much work for reward, you know?
Does 17 hit you?
Yes.
Does 23 hit you?
Yep.
Does 10 hit you?
Nope.
Does 8 hit you?
Nope.
Does 7 hit you?
Nope.
Does 14 hit you?
Nope.
Does 18 hit you?
Yes.
Does 12 hit you?
No.
So in a flurry of stabbing, these 4 creatures launch themselves at you, Red, screaming in silence, and you take 3 good hits. 5 piercing, followed by another 5 piercing, and then 8 piercing damage. So 18 altogether.
Yeah, Red goes down.
Oof.
Kraloth, it's your turn. You're standing behind your friend and you watch him sustain these terrible injuries. Oh, and the silence winks out.
Right, of course. The silence winks out while Kraloth is mid-shout. No! Kraloth rushes forward in between Red and these creatures. And as a bonus action, he's going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So a scythe appears behind one of these creatures. And he shouts to Doran, I'll try to draw their attacks. And I'm going to take the dodge action.
Cool.
And try to get as many of these things to try to attack me as possible. Come on.
Okay. So you're standing on top of Red's body, essentially?
Yeah. Standing over and protecting him.
Yep.
And trying to take the hits.
Awesome. So make a melee spell attack against one of these dudes.
That's a miss. My scythe
How do you know?
doesn't come through. It was a 2.
Yeah, no, you miss, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, but valiant action. So this misty scythe just hovers above one of the creatures and takes a swipe, and it skitters out of the way. Red, it's your turn. Make a save against death, my love.
God.
Natural 20.
Hey!
There you are.
That dice went from a 1 to a 20.
That means you come back to 1 hit point.
You're back up with 1 hit point.
Sweet.
Technically, now that you're conscious, you and Kraloth cannot occupy the same square, unfortunately. So I want you both to take 1d10 force damage. I'm kidding.
Oof. Kraloth goes down.
Just remember that you guys are going to have to deal with that as your turn. I think we'll homebrew it that one of you is going to have to move next turn. You can't continue to occupy the space.
Get out of here, Kraloth. You're standing on my stomach.
Oh, you're alive. Thank Kellamvor.
Yeah, it's going to take more than that to kill old Red.
It ain't your time yet, buddy.
Doran, it's your turn. Red just like he's lying on the ground, Kraloth's above him, just protecting with his shield, and you watch like Red coughs up some blood and like turns weakly.
I didn't cough anything. I said a badass line and I'm ready to fuck shit up.
Doran releases a guttural, watching real imaginative.
Doran, you're alive. What's happening down there?
Oh, we were in a cloud of silence there, but we're being attacked by these gangly creatures. And as he's yelling this up to Jack, he dives through the doorway and I attack.
So you leap through the doorway. 2 creatures just stab out at you with their long, stabby claws.
Stabby claws.
Does a 23 hit you?
Yes.
Does a 15 hit you?
No.
So you take 4 piercing damage.
Ow. That felt like a little pinprick. Maybe I underestimated the power of these things. And he pulls his axe over top of his head and he brings it down.
Mm-hmm.
26 to hit.
Yes, you hit with a 26.
Nice.
Yeah, its armor cracks underneath the weight of Orc Splitter as you wield her.
Doing full damage of 18.
Hell yeah, you do.
Nice.
Whoa.
And then I don't even change my focus and I stay right on that one and I take another hack at it with 19 to hit.
Yep.
14 damage.
Yeah, you fuck it up really good.
Nice.
Your axe is still kind of buried in the back of its head and it's screaming at you. This like reptilian face.
I'm feeling lobster tonight, boys.
Okay, great job. Jack, it's your turn. You hear the cries of your friends echoing up from downstairs. What do you do?
Did I learn, like, just looking at these creatures all night as they fucking were around us, did I learn anything I think could help these guys if I yelled down at them?
I mean, you know for sure that they're well armored as you're watching them and hearing the sounds of their claws tap on the outside of Liamon's tiny hut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, barring that, I might just help Zolkin up and say, Zolkin, go help them. It's safe. You just drag them back up here. As soon as you get inside the barrier, we're safe.
Zolkin's like, all right. And what are you going to do?
If I leave the space, the shield drops. I'm stuck here keeping the safe zone. If I go down there, then we could be overwhelmed.
No, that makes sense. And then Zolkin picks up his scimitar and rushes downstairs. It takes him basically all of his movement to get to the rear of the creature that is just to the north of Red. So Zolkin dashes for his turn and makes it into the fray, breathing heavily and wielding his weapon.
Nice.
just in time for the creature to turn on him. It readies its sharp foreclaws and pounces on him, screaming. Luckily, because of this narrow hallway, Zolkin is not affected by the creature having access to its companions. Unfortunately, Zolkin takes 2 hits from this creature.
Oof.
Both of its foreclaws go straight through Zolkin's leg.
He died a hero.
Oh, he takes max damage. Zolkin actually takes both of those hits through the abdomen, and he starts bleeding out all over the place. He's still alive, but he's not looking great.
Brave coming down here.
Yeah. Kraloth, the 2 creatures that were standing over Red's body, just ready to start eating him, they attack you instead, as you are this beefy target protecting your friend now with your shield.
They have disadvantage.
The first creature attacks you twice with a 22 and a 23 to hit you.
Definitely both hit.
Both of them hit. And then the second creature attacks 15.
That hits as well. Yeah.
15 hits you?
Yeah, I don't have my armor on. I'm in my knickers.
Oh my gosh.
You got a print on them, or are they just like a leather, or what you got going on?
Yeah, knickers.
They're like the classic white with hearts.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I think. Yeah.
But you got your shield out, right?
I'm picturing like a heart balanced on a scale of Kelemvor.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I like that.
Merch idea.
You take 20 even points of damage for
Holy
those 3
shit.
hits.
Oof. Okay.
The final monster attacks Doran wildly, even though Doran's axe is firmly buried inside of its brain. That's a natural 20.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Don't fight, just run up here.
I'm going to cancel it as a 20.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
So it's just a normal hit.
man.
Fuck yeah.
But I've used that's the
Thank
second
you.
one that I've used.
That's 5 piercing damage, Doran.
Thank you, Kraloth.
Kraloth, it's your turn.
Whoa. Kraloth moves out of the way of Red, shifts over, and says, just get out of here.
Don't worry about me. I'll figure it out. Red says, bleeding.
Bleedingly.
I always wanted to die surrounded by my friends.
Unfortunately, that won't be today.
Well, you can't die down there. Get up here.
I'm talking to Kraloth, Jack. You know, this is an issue with us. You always tend to put your nose where you shouldn't be. Through like struggled breath.
You bleed out again from all the exertion of talking.
Can't die till we resolve our bullshit. Get up here.
We don't have the time.
I'm going to slice at it.
Excellent.
That's 17 to hit.
No, you miss.
Wow, these things are tough. Okay.
They are be-armored.
They're be armored. They're lovely.
They be armored.
Yar. They're probably from Yartar.
If not from Yartar, then Jalanthar.
Jalanthar.
Or Rasalantar.
Rasalantar. Or Watar Dipe.
It took me a while to parse that last one.
In that case, I'm going to disengage, and I'm going to
As your action.
as my action.
And Red, through tear-filled eyes, is just like, goodbye, my friend.
I mean, these creatures are excited about eating something.
Shut up.
You got another character on deck, don't you?
I'm
It's safe up
no,
here.
I'm just
Get
trying
up
to
here.
I'm trying to decide.
White Fang.
Okay.
Go!
It's
Get out of here! I don't need you anymore. I don't love you anymore.
God, I'm like deer in headlights right now.
Justin, your instinct is fine. I think you should disengage. I think you should get to the Lima's tiny hut. That's what we should all be doing. And we're going to do that. I'm going to do it. It's going to be fine.
Okay.
I'll just disengage and run. It's fine.
So Kraloth is going to disengage, and he's going to say, "Come on, let's get upstairs." And he's going to move over. I can't occupy the same space as Red, and I'm going to move over to the stairwell.
So you dodge past these creatures, past Doran, and you begin to ascend the stairs. Red, it's your turn. What do you do?
Red, eyes welling with tears as his friend abandons him.
Shut up.
you jerk.
Red sees these creatures looming over him, and with a fear that has struck him to his core, he reaches into the bag of holding and pulls out a berry. And he slips into his mouth and says, God, I hope that's not one of the poison ones. And he's going to swallow the silver invisible berry. And now that he's invisible, he's going to use his feline agility to move 90 feet all the way upstairs and back into Liamon's tiny hut.
Awesome.
Could you imagine, though? I just put the poison berry in my mouth.
That tastes
So you have the shits and then you die.
And then I have the shits and then
Get
I
into
die.
Liamon's tiny hut, and then the cramps start, and you're in real trouble.
Oh boy, I took 2 berries.
It's a handful of berries. I don't care what they were, but
God, why am I colorblind?
Doran, what do you do?
I attack the one that's in front
Cool.
of me.
oh, because if you attack,
Roll to
you
hit.
can't provoke attack of opportunities. Then you can walk up. You can back up anyways. You're laughing.
Yeah.
Right, that's true.
That's the whole mobile thing.
You can do your multi-attack and then go back up the stairs.
That just leaves Zulkin by himself downstairs.
He'll figure it out.
He's got 5 hit points. Don't worry about it.
Fuck.
Okay, I'll just tackle one in front of me before thinking anymore.
Do it.
That is probably going to hit with a 26.
Yep.
Nice.
Doing
Sweet.
All right.
17.
What does it look like when you kill the monster?
Oh, I chop off its head, and its like neck and head kind of go wiggly, wiggly, and its legs are all chattering around looking for where to
Picturing
stand.
like a fountain
Unsure.
of blood as this long neck whips back and forth.
Yeah.
Evil Dead style.
Chaka.
And its legs are still like moving, like stabbing at the ground.
That's exactly what I was thinking, yeah.
Ugly blue horseshoe crab kind of blood.
So as that's happening,
Ugly.
yeah, then I run around and I stand beside Zolkin at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay. So you run to the other side and
Yeah.
you take up position beside Zolkin.
Yeah, and attack the creature that's standing in front of him.
Yeah, man. Do it. I mean, this is very brave of you.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to give everybody the best opportunity.
Great. So, Doran, you take down this one monster and then you hustle around the bend. You hear your friends running up the stairs, but you don't follow them.
No.
You come around the corner and you see Zolkin. He's bleeding heavily from the stomach and he's beset by 3 more creatures. What do you do?
I attack the one that's standing directly in front of him, and I kind of get in between
You
him
like push
and the
your
creature.
way between him.
Yeah, and I put my hand on his chest and I say, "Get out of here!" And I attack the one creature that's standing in front of me, and I hit with a 27,
Fuck
Yes,
yeah.
you do.
Nice.
doing 15
Hey.
Wow.
slashing
Great
damage.
job.
Nice.
Splashing damage?
Jack, it's your turn. You watch as, I mean, you don't watch as Red does anything because he's invisible, but
Red must have dived right behind him, and Jack's still like staring at the edge of this bubble down the stairs, being like, "Get up here, everybody!" And just like frustrated as heck. He's almost got like a little blinking illusion of an arrow, being like, "Come the fuck up!" It's all he can do.
You hear Red's voice. He's like, "Hey, Jack, what's new?" And like behind you, you just see blood like dripping out onto the floor.
Shit, Red, are you okay?
I'm fine.
1 hit point.
I don't even have any healing potions to offer you.
Take one from my bag, please.
Oh, I'd love to grab one from your bag and feed it to you.
Yeah, you can do that as your action for sure.
Definitely.
You rifle through the bag of holding, you find one of the healing potions.
Because it's also like, Red, where are you? You're invisible. Tell me where the
You're
bag
pouring
is.
it on my face, Jack.
No, what?
It's
What-
right in my eyes. Come on, man.
In order to get it in Red's mouth, I feel like you have to like hug him.
Oh,
to, like,
it's a
figure
very
out where his
intimate,
head
like,
is.
guide my hands kind of moment for sure. Yeah.
It's kind of sexy. Downstairs, Zolkin clasps a hand to this wound that is just oozing blood all over the place, and he's like, "Doran, are you sure? You got this?"
Get out of here!
So he disengages from the enemy and runs upstairs backwards, sort of keeping an eye on you, Doran, but you watch as he retreats and he makes it almost to the top of the stairs.
Excellent.
It's the creature's turns. Doran, you are swarmed by 3 terrible monsters. They attack you 2 times each with advantage, each of them. 15 to hit,
No.
18 to hit.
Yes.
That's 22 to hit.
Jeez,
Yeah.
I thought that was damage. I was really worried.
I was
going
going to say, what the fuck?
And 10 to hit,
No.
20.
Yeah.
So that means you take 3 hits from these 3 creatures. 1 each lands a hit on you. Altogether, you take 23 piercing damage. Doran, you take these 3 terrible hits.
Yeah.
Jab, jab, jab. And these creatures are just chittering, screaming at you in their weird reptilian insectoid voices. hungry for your flesh. They're like tearing at you with their teeth, kind of tentatively as you defend against them, blocking their arms.
Cool. And I'm going to move and start heading up the stairs.
Kraloth, it's your turn.
So Kraloth sees Doran coming up the stairs, and Kraloth's right at the top. He says, "Come on, buddy, come on!" And Kraloth is going to cast Channel Divinity. He's going to cast Path to the Grave on one of the chitterers that's been hit, because he knows that when Doran does an attack, he will be able to dodge away successfully. So the next time this creature takes damage, it's going to be double.
Okay.
And then Kraloth is going to book it to Liamon's tiny hut.
Excellent. Red, it's your turn. You watch as Zolkin just drags himself up the stairs, and you can hear Kraloth moving up quickly after him. What do you do?
I'm still invisible, right?
Yeah. You haven't taken an attack action.
Cool. I'll probably just
How much healing did you get?
7 hit points. So
Cool.
I'm up to 8.
Jack is cradling you.
Thanks, Jack, but
I don't want to have to tell Torin about this. And I push myself out of his arms and I run over to Zolkin and I help him into the bubble.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, come on, buddy. And this like invisible force puts his arms around Zolkin.
And there's this whole like moment of, because I want to get out there and like help drag him in, but I stuck. If I leave the bubble, it goes away. So there's this like hanging right at the edge, trying to
You have to keep,
signal
like,
everybody in.
Stopping yourself
You
from
have to keep
crossing
justifying
that line.
it. Guys, I can't leave, okay? I swear I would, but I just, if I leave.
Jack's actually like having a snack.
He's got,
Like, I can't.
I'm
I'm
just reading
sorry.
a book. You know, what else was I going to do? You want to really make your time efficient. And that's the secrets of the masters, is to find the best
right.
use of your time.
when you said
and
he's
not-
having a snack, all I could picture is him having one of those like cheese dips with like the stick crackers. Like,
Snack meal
fantasy
or whatever.
charcuterie version of that, where he's laying out
No,
a
no,
little
but, like-
board and slicing up some cheese.
no, in my mind, it's like literally that plastic pull and peel.
He's
like
got a
you just-
Lunchable.
and you just got like, and you're dipping those sticks in the cheese. You're like, no, God,
I can't help. I'm sorry. I got no magic and I'm stuck in a bubble. What do you want
Peeling
from
the
me?
plastic off a fruit roll-up.
No, but Red puts his hands around Zolkin and brings him in as Zolkin sort of gets this feeling of like this invisible creature kind of sweeping him in. And I say, I'm like, I saw you came down for us, buddy. You did good. And
Red, you help Zolkin into the safety of Lehman's tiny hut, and he collapses on the ground at Jack's feet. Doran, what do you do?
So I imagine these creatures are chasing me up.
Yeah, man.
So I'm going to continue to attack and run.
Cool.
Doran, it's your time.
Bum, 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 bum.
And I'm kind of like walking backwards up the stairs, chopping down. So I feel like I have advantage on these hits.
I don't think so, but nice try.
He's got the high ground, though. If Star Wars taught us
I
anything.
know. I know.
And I think we all
Sorry.
established it didn't teach us anything.
And of all the jokingness, it's like my dice were reading me or something. Does a 13 hit?
No.
Oh. A
So you missed
swing
your
and a
first
miss. But I should hit
Attack
with
the
a
other one.
27.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that hits.
Nice.
Double damage.
Doing double damage?
Oh, yeah. Because of the 1-2.
The old 1-3.
So I think you roll
yeah.
once and double it.
32 damage.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
Yeah, you fucking kill it.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I put my axe through its torso and it splits it kind of open and the legs can't support its body and it crumbles in half.
Send
Yep.
these fuckers back to where they came from.
It actually starts rolling down the stairs.
Right. Yeah. Because we're on the spiral
And
staircase.
it rolls downstairs and you don't see it anymore. It just leaves this trail of dark blood.
And I run into the hut.
You're the last one. Okay, I think. What's down? More of those creatures?
There are these, these crawly legged creatures with big fangs. And I don't know, I just killed a couple of them, but they seem to be doing a lot of damage to our party.
Doran, is Red still down there?
I don't know where he is.
I'm here, boys. It's okay.
And you feel like a little furry hand on your shoulder.
Old Red isn't gonna go down that easy.
It's just a hand, like a
Yeah.
paw print of blood on your.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank Cullum for Red. I
Well, you can thank Farah for those berries.
Oh, is that what you ate? Oh.
Anyway, and Red, you just see like the shifting of cloth as he crawls back into his bedroll. He's like, I think I just gonna rest my.
The creatures are like run up from downstairs and just start battering the side of Lehman's tiny hut.
I think I want to take another 10 minutes to like re-up the spell to give us another 8 hours.
A top up.
So these monsters, throw themselves against the wall of the hut and then eventually lose interest and retreat back to wherever they came from. And you're able to get some rest.
I feel like Doran, I feel like we would all be sitting there kind of like in this exhausted shamble and watching these creatures throw themselves at this invisible wall in front of us and just kind of take it in and catch our breath as we watch these creatures exhaust themselves throwing, it's like that image in my mind of them throwing themselves at nothing and kind of going,
What the hell are they?
losing interest in leaving,
Kraloth is brows knit together in concentration and confusion as he fumbles at the ring on his finger. Well, best if we get some rest. You're all going to be okay? You all feel patched up well enough?
Yeah. A sleep will do me good.
Zolkin is like, need rest. And curls up basically in shock in his bedroll. After waiting for the adrenaline to subside, you're all eventually able to fall asleep. And why not? I'll let you guys get 8 hours of,
thank you.
rest. You get your
Thank
long
goodness.
rest in.
Da, 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 da.
Feels like it doesn't happen too often these days.
This might be the first
Yeah.
rest Jack has had, like the real one, in a long time. And you can't call this a good night, that's for sure.
It dawns bright and clear but crisp, and actually on the outside of Lehman's tiny hut, it's not as translucent as you would expect because it's covered in a layer of frost.
And I love the idea that we were sleeping for an hour and then got woken up. So, like, an hour before Jack assumes it's going to stop, we're all just looking up and the snow, it just goes, and all the snow falls on us.
Yeah.
And we're like,
I mean, there's something magical though of looking up and just having this hoarfrost dome like lattice work above us for just a minute before it collapses in on us.
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah.
Talk about a way to wake up. Oh, good morning, boys. I'm feeling much better.
Ooh. Red sits up and starts rolling up his bedroll in the frosty morning. Whew.
I find it refreshing.
How's everybody doing?
I'm feeling much better, thank you. Really needed that rest.
What the hell was that all about?
Jack, when we went down there was a spectral creature speaking to us and warned us of the fog coming, and they told us to hide. This place has some terrible memories. I don't know, it said the name Belril, but it didn't seem so much as a warning, but more of just maybe a kind spirit that hasn't passed yet.
Jack takes some notes down on actual paper for historical purposes and sort of says, let's hope the vultures survived.
It's funny now that Lehman's tiny hut has been dismissed. The vultures are not in their stables downstairs, but they are all perched on the rim of the canyon, looking down at you in the tower. It seems like they had escaped their captivity last night and made it clear, but they're still bound to this place by some instinct waiting for their masters. So they took to the air last night in response to this onslaught of monsters, and they're here like horses after a storm, just waiting for you.
Nice.
Cool.
Red is reaching into the bag of holding and he's handing out all of the cowls and to everybody to ride them. And as he gets to Zolkin, he hands the cowl and he says,
Zolkin, I meant what I said to you yesterday down in the stables. There's a lot in you, and I hope you put it to good use. Here.
and he reaches in and he takes out his fair share of the gold, 300-ish, whatever it ends up being, and hands him a big pile of it and says,
No idea where you're off to now?
I'm going to chase the sun.
Don't get too close. I hear it's pretty hot.
And he dons the helmet, looking darkly handsome with his pointed horns atop this like metal crest. And he starts walking down and he gives you guys a last salute and yells, "Farewell, Nightstone 4!"
So long, Zolkin.
Goodbye.
Farewell, Zolkin.
And you watch as he sort of crawls up, ascends this canyon wall, makes a successful animal handling check, loops a leg over the back of a vulture, and takes off into the morning light.
You know, this is the first time I'm going to miss that jerk.
Yeah. You guys get set up. I'll just be a second. And Kraloth goes off into one of the corners behind one of the raised areas. And Kraloth rubs the ring on his finger and then takes a at attention stance and says, Captain, you don't need to make yourself seen, but I just wanted to say thank you for alerting me to the presence of that specter last night. If it hadn't been for her, there's a good chance we would have tried to fight. So, I appreciate your looking out for me still, after all these years.
You don't see him, but you hear his voice in your ear. It's almost fatherly. Be safe.
All right. And Kraloth salutes and heads back to the others.
And I feel like we're trying to get Doran onto one of the vultures. Like,
Yeah.
no, and Jack's on one side and I'm on the other side.
Just hold here and don't worry about it. As long as you got the helmet on, he's not going to bite you.
I keep on like going up and falling over the other side.
Yeah.
No, just
All right, here. And we're like lashing him on. Like I'm throwing it over.
But
and
it
kind of-
turns out to be the saddle that's been partly cut through. And by the moment that you have Doran just perfectly perched atop the saddle, then it
saddle
breaks
gives
and
way.
then falls off.
Dorian, just picture it like a cliff face or a rock. Just hold on for dear life. You know.
Oh, I can do that. And then all of a sudden I stick like glue.
Here you go, Kraloth. And I hand Kraloth his helmet and put on my own.
Figured that this was going to be how you guys wanted to get out of here, so and I'm going to cast Calm Emotions on myself.
I thought you were going to cast blindness or deafness.
That's awesome.
I just don't want to see. You know how they say don't look down? Yeah, I got to cast Calm Emotions on myself.
Strap yourself into that balloon pack.
Yeah. And just like my whole face relaxes as I put the cowl on and I say, this is going to be all right.
The animals launch themselves into the air powerfully, their wings beating hard on either side of you, and you wheel once over the canyon, gaining this wild perspective that just shifts as the animal turns in the air, and the four of you wing north back towards Yarder.
back to Yada. Thanks again to our wonderful Patreon supporters Christopher Ryan Evans, Colin Burkhart, Daniel Doug, Jessica Orrit, Mary Kaniski, Katie Orrit, Perrin Caristi, and Merlin. Thank you so much.
And Kraloth goes off into one of the corners behind one of the raised areas.
Hey, Doran, I think Kraloth needs to take a shit.
Hey, speaking of shit, I don't think I've shit in about 2 months.
You guys have never actually
Since
used the
we
bathroom
started this
before.
Been a long week.
Kraloth, it takes you 45 minutes to empty your bladder. All right.
Make sure, in fact, and when you're editing that, you guys should put in some silence. Because silence can be like really loud when, especially when it's back. You know, when,
Just
right in
add
the
some
middle of
silence, Harlan.
I'll add some silence. I'll add a few layers
Yeah.
of silence.
All that silence. We have some high quality silence.
something. Yeah, layer it so we get deep silence.